What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and welcome to another episode of our First Down Training show. Today we're going to be talking about some crazy stuff that I saw these last 2 weeks in youth football that really kind of bummed me out about the scope and landscape of youth sports and just honestly generally the future of our youth in this country, if I'm being completely honest with you. And then we're going to be answering some questions that you guys left on a previous episode of this show, so I appreciate you guys tuning in. Let's get started. All right, you guys, so I really got two stories for you. They're pretty similar. One was at like a flag football game. The other one was at a tackle football game, but it's pretty much the same concept. So I went to a flag football game. Whatever you think about flag football, you know, I was out there watching one of the quarterbacks that I train. He actually goes to a middle school that I went to, and their middle school team is playing for like the championship of their league. So I went out to check it out, right? They're a pretty good team. Kid's a very, very talented quarterback, and they were beating the team pretty good. It was like the fourth quarter, and I think it was at like 48-12, I believe. And there was about 8 minutes left. And once they go up by like, I would say like 4 or 5 touchdowns, what they start doing is they do a running clock, which means that the clock only stops like, you know, after a touchdown or something of that nature, right? And we've all been there, and I think that's a good thing to have because it speeds up the game. It doesn't help a team just get like absolutely demolished on every single play if the skill level is that big. But here's what happened. So the scoreboard guy, I know him, he's a nice guy, super cool. But again, I don't agree with what he did. He turns the scoreboard off. So it says 0-0 on the scoreboard. Now listen, what in the soft hell is that? You know what I mean? Like, here's my like, it's like, okay, they're getting their ass whooped. I'm just going to be honest. I'm going to be frank. Coach is making horrible calls. Players are not playing good. Other teams just that much better, right? My issue with the whole thing is that what does that teach those kids on the losing team? It teaches them that, oh, you lost, but it's okay, everything's great, whatever. Everybody's going to lose. You're going to lose in life. I lose every day, more than once. I fail every day, more than once. But you know what happens when you fail and when you lose? You learn what went wrong and you get better so you don't fail that same way again and you don't make the same mistake twice. And that's how you develop as a person, as an athlete in the business world, whatever the case may be. So my problem with this, and I've heard other stories of stuff like this happening in other sports, like basketball, like lacrosse, whatever, is that you're letting them know, oh, it's okay, everything's safe, we're going to put you in your safe space, whatever. And here is, think what you want about it, think what you want about me for saying this, but at the same time, what in the hell are we teaching these kids about anything when we do that and turn off the scoreboard? Because here's what should have happened. Those kids should have been like, damn, we lost 48-12 or 56-12, whatever the case may be. We got to get a lot better. I need to improve myself in XYZ areas because I don't like feeling like this. I don't like that we lost. And what the coach should do is tell them, yeah, you guys played awful in XYZ areas, so we got to go back to practice. We got to work on this, this, and this to make sure that we are prepared for the playoffs or the next season or whatever the case may be, depending on the situation that you're in. Okay? Turning off the scoreboard teaches them absolutely nothing. What happened to losing? Why can't we lose? Why is it just such a society where like winning is bad? Like, oh, they're rubbing it in, they're rubbing salt in the wound. I posted a video about this on Instagram, by the way. That's how upset I was. And I wanted to make a longer form video to try to explain it a little bit better to you guys because I only have a certain amount of time on the short form stuff. And people were like upset with me. They were like, well, it's just rubbing salt in the wound. You don't want to make them feel worse about themselves than they already feel. They know that they lost. I don't think they do because they're kids. Like me personally, like I'm more concerned about how those kids are going to turn out in the future, not in the present moment, and make sure that their feelings are intact and their feelings are okay. Because honestly, in our world, I feel like everybody plays the damn victim. I feel like everybody's entitled, not everybody, but most people nowadays, especially younger people, like you see it when these kids get out of high school and out of college and you see how they act. They're entitled. They play the victims. Everything happens to me. Woe is me. You owe me this because I've been through this. That's not how the world works, you guys. And I'm telling you right now, you are going to get ran over and steamrolled if that's the attitude that you have. Because here's what happens. They lost. They played bad. Let's say the kid wants to play football in high school and in college and whatever, but because they turn off the scoreboard, and it's not so much about the scoreboard, it's what the scoreboard represents, right? They turn off the scoreboard and it tells them like, oh, it's okay. It was 0-0. You don't need to see the score. You don't want to look at that. That'll make you feel bad about yourself. You should feel bad about yourself. You just got beat bad. You need to understand that that's not okay. It's okay to lose, but what are you going to do about it? It's not, oh, it didn't happen. Don't look at it. Don't look at the scoreboard. Nah, man, that's not how life works. That's not what being a man is. That's not what being successful is. You should understand that you screwed up. You did bad. I need to improve and take responsibility and accountability, because that is what's missing in society with people who are freaking my age, because I'm only 25, with people who are a little bit younger than me and people who are in college and high school currently right now. Everything is somebody else's fault. They take no responsibility. They take no accountability. Here's the thing. Maybe it's not your fault. Like maybe you were dealt a crap hand, maybe you were born into like, poverty, or, you grew up with parents who just like abuse you or whatever the case may be. And I'm not trying to make light of that. Those are very serious things. But what I'm saying is it's not your fault, but you have a responsibility in how you respond to that and how you deal with that as a person, as a human, right? So it is your fault that you lost. It was directly your fault because you guys lost. Take responsibility. Take accountability. Because if I'm like let's say for me, like I own a business, right? If I'm hiring people, I don't want to hire somebody who it's everybody else's fault. I want somebody who takes accountability. So when they screw up, because mistakes are going to happen, they could go, hey, that's on me. I'll be better. I'll fix it, right? So that's what we're teaching kids when we turn off the scoreboard is, oh, that's okay. Don't feel bad about yourself. I don't want you to feel any pain. To be honest with you guys, feeling pain is how you actually feel good about yourself, because you realize like, man, I accomplished something, or man, I got out of that situation, right? Like I've been through all kinds of crap. You know what I mean? My family has been through all kinds of crap, but the way I was raised is like, okay, well, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to be that dude that just sits there and just, oh, woe is me, it sucks, I'm really sad? Or are you gonna be that guy who's like, oh, it didn't happen, who cares? It is what it is. I'm me, I'm perfect, I'm this, I'm that. No, do not think that way, you guys. You're going down a very slippery slope. And some people on social media were like, oh, why do you care? Like, it's not that big a deal. Like, bro, it's not that serious. It's like, yeah, it is. In my opinion, it is. I'm sorry I care about the youth. Sorry I care about what happens to kids like as they get older and get put into the real world. And I don't want them to get punched in the face and not know, like not physically, but like, you know what I'm trying to say? I don't want them to get punched in the face by life and not know how to react, because honestly, pain is how you get better. Pain is how you improve yourself. So when you lose and you play really bad, you should see the freaking score. Because like think about it in real life. Okay, let's think about this. Let's say you have a sales job. Say you sell insurance or something like that, right? And let's say you made 1,000 phone calls last week, okay? Monday through Friday, you called 1,000 people. Not one of them bought the insurance. You know what your boss is gonna do? Hey, Bill, you made 1,000 calls and not one of them bought. That's awful. And they're going to show you the freaking numbers. And what are you going to do? You're going to be like, oh, he's against me. It's not my fault, Or are you going to say, man, maybe I need to work on my game. Maybe I need to work on my sales pitch. Maybe I need to watch some videos and learn how to sell and how to sell insurance and learn more about the product so I could be a better salesman, and I take accountability and responsibility for the failure that I just did and the effect that I just had on the company. Are you going to be that guy, or are you going to be the guy that plays the victim? That's all I'm trying to say, okay? Now, the second thing that I saw in youth football, and this was crazy because it was tackle football, right? So a team goes up 28-0. The rule in Pop Warner, apparently, at least in California where I'm at, is that you can only run the ball and you could only run it up the middle. What? Like, that's not football. Like, what's going on? So guess what the defense does? They don't put anybody on the receivers. They stack the box right down the middle, and then the running back just runs, he gets tackled, okay, cool. And it's a running clock. What does that teach anybody? It teaches people that when you're losing and when you're doing bad and when you're failing, that we're going to make an environment so you could have some success and feel better about yourself. Not, hey, maybe we should figure out what we are doing wrong and we could actually improve ourselves in sports, in life, whatever it is. It's just not how the world works, you guys. Like the world, when you're doing bad, it's probably like you're drowning, it's gonna step on your head while you're drowning. Like, honest to God, that's the way the world works. And as a person, you have to take responsibility and say, I am not where I am at because of my actions and I need to be better. Are there circumstances? Are there unfair hands that are dealt? Yes, and those may not be your fault. But if it is directly your fault, You have a direct responsibility to pull yourself out of that situation to make sure that doesn't happen again. And if it's not your fault, you have a responsibility to be like, okay, this is what happened to me. It's unfair. It sucks. This hurts. But my responsibility is, am I going to let that define me, or am I going to be able to get myself out of this situation? Because how I respond to that situation is my responsibility. So guys, I just think it's very soft. I hate that it's in youth sports, because here's my problem with youth players, and this is why I'm so like passionate about the topic and why it pisses me off, is because like the kids are very impressionable. I think we all can agree on that, right? Their brains haven't developed yet. These are 12, 13, 14-year-old kids, sometimes even younger than that. And you're messing with their heads. Like, you're letting them know that it's okay. Don't feel bad about yourself. You played awful. You threw 5 picks, but it's okay. And listen, like, as your parent, like, you throw 5 picks, like, we still love you. You know what I mean? But like, we're going to tell you, like, hey, listen, you need to be better. You know, like, that's how I was raised. Like, I've had plenty of bad games. You know, my parents say, hey, you did your best, we love you, but like, that was pretty bad. Like, you need to get better, like, you know, or, you know, you can't really play this sport, you know, and be successful at it. Like, you need to improve in XYZ area, and we'll help you out the best way we can, but that's the truth. And the truth has been lost on society. We're not going to tell these kids the truth that they played awful. We're going to lie to them and say, it's 0-0, don't worry about it, honey, you're going to be fine. Nah, man, that's not, what? So we're just lying now? Like, that's just me. That's my opinion, that's my take on it. I'm sure a lot of you have the same take. I'm sure some of you have a different take, and that's fine. You know what I mean? I'm not going to tell you how to think. I'm just going to tell you where I'm coming from. And if you're watching this as a parent or as a player, just understand that it's okay to lose, but what are you going to do about it? You know what I mean? Don't buy into this crap that you're perfect just the way you are. Like, you are, but like, you could always be better. Like, when did not improving yourself become a thing? Like, here's a perfect example. Like, and again, some people might be offended by this, but like, if you're really overweight, like freaking 400 pounds, like obese, like unhealthy, like could die because you're so overweight, like, and people are like, you're perfect just the way you are, you don't have to lose weight, you're beautiful. Like, in my opinion, like, I think those people are worse than the people who are telling you that you need to lose weight, because they don't really actually care about you. They're like, oh, you're fine, just kill yourself and keep eating more, you're perfect the way you are. No, you need to improve. Like, you need to lose weight. You need to get healthier, because we want you to live longer, because we think you're a good person and we love you. That's how it should be, right? So like, that's just my take on the whole situation. You might think I'm blowing it out of proportion, but that's just how I feel, right? So it's like, you are letting these kids know that it's fine, you're good enough, when they're not good enough. And then these are the kids. These are the kids. I see it all the time. These are the kids that go to the biggest high schools and have this false narrative in their head that I'm good enough to play at this high school. And then they get into a room where guys on the team are a full freaking year older than them, have them by 50, 60 pounds, are way better than them, and then they're like, oh crap. How are they going to respond in that situation? Because they've never been dealt any adversity, because you keep turning the scoreboard off and you just make people run it up the middle all the time, and nobody learns anything from failure and nobody learns anything from losing. That's all I'm going to say. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. And you might say that's mean, what I'm saying. You might say, oh, you're rubbing salt in the wounds. They know they lost, whatever. Cry me a river. I really don't care. But I mean, listen, and you're entitled to your opinion. I'm not saying you're not. But I'm just saying that that crap needs to stop, man. Like, they need to stop turning the scoreboard off. They need to stop making people run up the middle. Do the running clock. I get it in tackle too, because like, if you're like just getting obliterated and people are getting hurt out there, like, yeah, like, let's run the clock. Like, let's save us all some time here. We know what happened. But they still see the score. They're like, man, I got to get better. And that is one of the best traits that you can have as an individual, is accountability and being able to understand that, like, I need to do better. Responsibility and accountability, that's what you need to have to be successful in any aspect of your life, okay? So I hope that makes sense, you guys. Hope I didn't offend too many people, but that's just all I got to say about it, all right? So now, guys, we're going to answer some questions that you left on a previous episode of our show. I appreciate everybody watching these long-form videos. Hope they're able to give you some value. Hope you guys are enjoying these. So again, guys, if you have questions, comments, post them in the comment section below. We love hearing from you, and the best questions that we get, we will feature them on the next episode of our show, okay? Now, before we get into that, though, you guys, if you're a QB or wide receiver watching this, parent of a quarterback, wide receiver watching this, we are coming out to 15 different cities across the entire U.S. for 2-day-long QB and wide receiver training camps this offseason, you guys. So fellas, if you want to sign up, go to that very first link in the description below. That's where you can get all the information. Our camps are a little different. We actually work with athletes on like an individual basis at our camps. It's more like training, you know what I mean? It's not a camp where it's like, let's go as fast as we can, let's have 100 people out here and just go. We limit spots. So all of our camps will sell out, you guys. So just make sure you take advantage of the fact that we have open spots if you would like to attend. We're going to be coming out to San Francisco, California, then Orlando, Florida, Phoenix, Arizona, Columbia, South Carolina, Seattle, Washington, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Nashville, Tennessee, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Austin, Texas, Atlanta, Georgia, Denver, Colorado, Columbus, Ohio, Boston, Massachusetts, Salt Lake City, Utah, and finishing it off in Los Angeles, California. So guys, we'd love to have you there. Hope you can attend. Very first link in that description below. Let's get to some of your questions, fellas. So, question number 1 from Big Chunger V5G. Thanks, Coach. By the way, is running back a position that is very overlooked? How do you stand out and get big D1 schools to notice you and potentially give you a scholarship offer? So if you're playing running back, you want to stand out to college coaches. I would say the most important things are definitely your speed. You got to have the size of a running back, right? So you're probably on the shorter side of things, so you need to have some weight. Being really skinny at a running back isn't the most appealing to a college coach. So speed, size, explosiveness, great cutting ability, and the ability to break tackles and get positive yardage after contact. Those are all things that you want to showcase on your highlight tape, and I feel that that's a great way to stand out, okay? So I hope that makes sense, man. Next question from Emin Sao. I'm a sophomore, 14, 5 foot, 105 pounds, third string both ways, and I'm seriously thinking about quitting because I'm horrible, and I really don't want to be a junior on JV. Do you think it's justified, or should I man up and not quit? Yeah, man, I think, I don't think you should quit. I really am a firm believer that you shouldn't really quit anything. I think whatever you finish, you should try to start. So if you're thinking about quitting football, one, I would just remember why you started playing football in the first place, because I'm assuming you love the game, and I'm assuming you have goals with the game, like maybe you want to play in college, whatever the case may be. So I would try to focus on that, and I would understand that, like, if you quit, it opens up a door for you to quit in other aspects of your life. It's very tempting to want to quit because it sucks, it's hard, you're maybe not where you want to be, but you taking responsibility and being like, listen, I'm not where I want to be, this is what I need to do to get out of this situation, and I'm going to give it everything I have. And if you give it everything you have and you maybe don't get there, but you feel content in the situation, then okay, cool. Maybe you pursue something else, but at least you didn't quit. So I definitely wouldn't quit if that's a thought that's creeping into your head. So I hope that makes sense, man. Appreciate you asking that. Next question from CJ Martin 5269. Question: my 11-year-old son is playing first year of tackle. He's starting wide receiver and safety. Great program, taught them well, heads up tackling. Last 2 weeks, wife told me he was crying from anxiety about going to practice and doing tackling drills. He's a great athlete. Played flag from age 5, still in spring. Comes home and tells me practice is good, but I personally have not witnessed the crying. He plays tough, knows the playbook, and he loves football. I've asked every year about other sports he doesn't want to do them. He just wants football. I'm on a limited budget, but I want to help him with this. We do speed and agility training all offseason. Should I take some classes on heads-up tackling and incorporate that in the offseason a little? Thanks, Coach. Love your channel. Wish you would come back to North Carolina or South Carolina. Yeah, man. Appreciate the support, you guys. So if he's a little anxious about the hitting aspect of football, but he really wants to play football, highly recommend, like, in the off season, like working a lot of tackling and contact drills with him, right? So like, let's say he's a receiver and a DB, I believe you said, right? So what I would do is I would, have somebody throw him a ball and have you just have like a blocking pad or something and give him a little contact while he's doing catching drills so he gets comfortable with that contact. Work on tackling drills where he's having to tackle a blocking bag, get used to that contact. Maybe get a partner and put them both in pads and have them work tackling drills that are live in a more controlled setting, not a practice setting where there's a ton of pressure. And I think that could help him get over the fear of all that. It's totally normal, I think, at his age. You'd be surprised the amount of questions I get asked about that specific topic. So that's what I would recommend. So hope that helps, but I appreciate the support. Appreciate you asking that question, okay? All right, you guys, that does it for this episode, but seriously, I appreciate everybody tuning in. Hope this was able to help. Hope you guys got some value out of this episode and learned a few things. And yeah, guys, if you have questions, don't hesitate. Post those in the comment section below. We always love hearing from you, and we'll see you next time.